Thank you guys for joining today. Got Coach Rhule here to answer questions you guys have for him. Everyone should have recording access. If not, just let me know. Coach, you want to start us off or go right into questions?
Good.
All right, guys, just a reminder, please use the raise hand button if you have questions for Coach Rhule. With that said, if someone wants to start us off with the first question, the floor is open.
Matt, I'll start. Just wondered after you watched the film what you saw there that maybe you hadn't seen right away yesterday when we talked to you.
I think a lot of it was kind of how we saw it yesterday. To be honest with you, Scott, I thought obviously first and foremost you start with the turnovers. I think in the National Football League, if you turn the ball over 3 times, you have about a 7% chance of winning. Really a credit to a lot of guys that were in the game. It's to be quite honest with you, it's our 5th 3 turnover game of the year, and so you could probably like full stop. I mean, like you could, if we protect the football, we have a chance to win in these games. And it's one thing to have a turnover, another thing to have a pick six. Thought the special teams weren't good enough in the game. The field position obviously tilted it against us. I thought defensively, the issue just came down to third down. Winning in third down. Our guys play man a lot. They're not going to win every time, but we had to just win a couple more, and then I had a chance to pick 3 balls off. So we're not going to beat a team like the Falcons if we turn it over 3 times. We're not going to beat a team with the Falcons if they're 50% on third down. We're not going to beat a team like the Falcons with that special teams play, and I thought they played hard watching the tape. I thought guys flew around. But we have some things to clean up that hurt us yesterday.
We'll go to Jonathan Alexander next.
Matt, you were asked about it yesterday, and you said Cam Newton was your starter. I want to ask you just again, just in case maybe things have changed, but do you anticipate using Cam Newton and PJ Walker in that similar role, or does it dictate what the defense is doing? And did you like that, how it worked out?
We planned on playing PJ in the game. We had a package for him, and then also planned on him playing in the 2-minute. Obviously at the end of the half, he threw the interception, which was unacceptable. At the end of the game, he threw us down there. We weren't able to get in. Came back and obviously made some nice plays to score the touchdown. So. We'll continue to play both guys. I think Sam's a week to 2 weeks away from being ready to play. So we'll continue to play both guys and just continue. I thought Jeff did a nice job yesterday. I thought the tempo was there. I thought there were guys open. That was one of the better passing days. I'll take away the giveaways. Let me say that. One of the better passing days we've had in quite some time. So we'll just continue to try to refine what we're asking of each guy, and I think another week, hopefully we can play with that same sort of tempo that we had, just protect the football better.
You mentioned Sam, so do you anticipate him factoring in when he returns?
It's obviously a possibility. I mean, we just have to wait and see, kind of, But all I'm saying now is, just that he's out right now, that he's not a factor.
We'll go to Joe Person next.
Matt, what did you think of the offensive line play, in particular the guard play, and might you look at any kind of different combinations there?
I thought the offensive line play was good enough. Obviously with Brady step in for the first time, I thought he played okay. I thought Dennis Daly having to play guard and slide back out to tackle when Cam got hurt, then slide back into guard. I think we'll probably have Michael Jordan back this week, or have a good chance, Joe, to have Michael Jordan back this week, and potentially Johnny. So we'll just have to kind of wait and see how it plays out. Some guys came out of that game banged up, so I think we'll have to get to Wednesday and see how Cam's feeling, how Michael's feeling, and put the best 5 out there.
Next question will go to Ellis Williams.
Matt, Stephon Gilmore played 69 snaps, 100% of the snaps yesterday. During the week, you didn't anticipate that being the case. What changed there?
Well, I think maybe I didn't. Maybe I said it to one or two of you guys, maybe just talking. But I think the whole time coming into it, we thought we thought once we got to the bye week that Stefan would be able to play a significantly larger role in the games moving forward. That he got into the game and just felt healthy and felt good, and so we just continued to play him. So we wanted to play him as much as possible. We knew would be a larger number coming out of the bye, and then possible ended up being the whole game, which was great to have. And I thought he did a nice job in there.
And then how about the rest of the secondary? CJ Henderson doesn't play. 18 snaps for him, and then just in replacing Dante, how do you think everyone stepped up?
It's kind of like I said. There were some plays that weren't good enough, especially on third downs, especially that last third down. It's never quite. I mean, guys, Miles Hartfield, they try to get a man-to-man against Pitts. He runs down the sideline and knocks the ball away. Then on 3rd and 15, obviously we give up the play to Pitts. So there's a lot of really good snaps in there. It's one of the things you learn in life. Like it's never as, Miami was, obviously we didn't play great against Miami. There was just a lot of things that we have to clean up, especially on third downs. But guys did a lot of good things as well. So I think it's just this growth of understanding that, hey, when you're a corner, when you're a safety, you can't have a bad snap or else it results in a big play. The double moves, I think Ellis hurt us early, the double move of the big play that we were able to get it down. And then the first play of the second half, that obviously was a factor. But at the end of the day, it still comes down to me to the third downs conversions that we allowed, both in zone and in man, and we have to be better in those areas.
Yeah, thank you.
Let's go to Will Plotchick.
Matt, I got 2 offensive line questions. I'll go one at a time. On the 4th down sack where Fowler kind of came free off the edge, there seemed like there was some confusion there with Cam Irving and Dennis Daly. Were you able to kind of address, or will you be able to kind of address kind of the confusion there that happened between those 2 guys?
I think I haven't spoken with Cam yet. We were sliding right. Cam's one-on-one by himself. He's hoping to get a chip from the back, but the back's man was mugged up, so he can't chip for him. I think he felt like on the field, he said the guy was offsides. I think that's what he was. He felt like Fowler went early. But in terms of schematic confusion, there really was none. It's everyone knows who they have.
And how did you grade out Brady Christensen from the game film?
Like I just said a couple minutes ago, I thought he played well enough. Obviously Brady's got a lot of growth. He's played a lot of different positions, a lot of growth he has to continue to do. But I thought it was a good step for him.
Next question.
I was glad to get Deontay in there a little bit too. So.
Next question goes to Will Kunkel.
Hey, Matt, they kept running the ball right at Brian Burns. Was that something they were doing successfully with what they were doing, or is that Brian needs to be better against the run?
I think everyone had to be better against the run. I mean, they run the ball. They were just, they like many teams run the ball into the boundary. I think we had a lot of good stops against it. We had them like 3.6, but then some of the runs late popped, and this, 3 technique gets reached. On the one play, Hoskins got reached, which was a big long run. On the backside, we need Reddick and some of those guys to if Brian sets the edge, those guys have to be flat down the line. So I just think fundamentally, kind of like a lot of the games where if we haven't been great against the run, it's just our stoutness inside. Guys setting an edge, and then all we want to do is set an edge and build a wall, and everyone chase the ball down. And early in the game, there was a lot of times where we did that, but they still were kind of falling forward for 4, being in 2nd and 6. Later in the game, they popped a couple of them that were difficult, and then they hit a couple crack tosses on us, got the ball to the perimeter, and that's on those plays we need the secondary to show up and make the tackle, and unfortunately we're just a little bit late. So I wouldn't say it was any one guy. I just think, kind of like I said in the passing game, a lot of things there that showed up that just we have to clean up and be better at.
And then real quick to follow up on that, you've talked about in the past is assignment football, doing your job, letting everyone else do their job, and then it all comes together if they listen to Phil Snow. Did you see that get better yet this Sunday, or is it still guys kind of going rogue?
I didn't see anybody going rogue. I don't think I think Washington was the one game where I felt like that happened. I thought as things happened poorly, as things started happening against us, you saw guys panic and start to do too much. I think it happened a little bit against Philadelphia. I think defensively, Yeah, I know. I didn't feel that. I just felt like, they won some blocks on us. They blocked us at times. They ran hard. And on the flip side of that, I'll say we're not, if we have 3 turnovers, they're going to be able to run the football. We have to, but part of stopping the run in the National Football League is playing well on offense. So you have a little bit of a lead, and they have to throw the ball more. We never quite turned it into a drop back game. They were able to run the ball and play action. But I didn't see a lot of that. I saw some, guys make some mistakes that we have to clean up. But certainly, I thought they played hard. They tried to do what they're supposed to do.
Next question will go to Steve Reed.
Hey, Matt. I know, Robbie and DJ both kind of went down at different points, but did come back to play. But I just want to check on their availability. Was there any issues with that? And secondly, how do you go about Buffalo and what's supposed to be, I guess, a pretty cold environment up there next Sunday?
I probably won't think too much about the cold myself, and I lived in Buffalo. I know it's going to be cold. The guys should know it's going to be cold. If the cold prevents you from playing well as a professional athlete, then you have to question yourself. We have tough guys. I know even David asked the question yesterday about guys playing hard and all that. I mean, I think when you see a guy like Robbie get hit the way he got hit and comes back in the game, when Brian Burns goes down early with a sprained ankle and comes back in the game, when DJ pulled his hamstring. I'd say he's day-to-day right now. He pulls his hamstring and he comes back. They say he's out, and he says, no, I'm playing, goes back in the game. I mean, I have no issue with our guys' effort and toughness. But, yeah, Robbie came back, and nothing lingering for him. And then DJ, we'd list him probably as day-to-day right now.
Let's go to Brett Jensen next.
Hi, Matt. When you were doing and resurrecting programs at Temple and Baylor, especially Baylor being such a difficult situation that you walked into, what have you found this to be a lot different, a lot harder? Is it harder maybe than you anticipated? The other places that you had, you kept progressing in year 3. You had the big turnaround. It seems like maybe this year the team has regressed a little bit in terms of performance. Is it difficult? What's the biggest differences between there and here?
They're the same. It's the same situations. We're turning them. I'd say, Brett, I think the concept of regression is there because we're just turning the ball over too much. So there, in some areas, yes, I think our defense has improved this year from last year. Yeah, I think it's the same thing. You go through that first year, you try to get something established. You get into the second year, you have some good moments, you have some bad moments, you have ups and downs. You try to build consistency. You talk a lot about it, and you don't always see it. So people ask you, well, how come they're not doing it? Well, sometimes you don't have the margin for error that guys can do a lot of things right. We just don't have a tremendous margin for error right now, and it shows up in some of these games. Like I said, we had 5 3-turnover games, and I take responsibility for the 3 turnover games. I'm not saying that, but the fact that we lost one of those in overtime, we lost one 21-18 to the Eagles, and this was a 1-score game, I think shows tremendous grit and by a lot of guys. We just have to clean some things up. But yeah, it's the same thing, in all those places. Year 2, we had a better roster. The football was better. In year 3, we continue to have a better roster. The football was better. So, I'm focused on right now. I'm not certainly looking at next year, and I'm certainly not looking at the earlier part of this year. I'm just trying to get ready for Buffalo.
Let's go to Joe Person.
Matt, what was the reason you guys activated Frankie and then ended up making him inactive?
For him to be able to play on Sunday, Joe, he was going to have to be activated. He had passed enough tests that if he passed the test from Saturday into Sunday, he'd have been able to play. So the rules say you have to activate him, and then if you want to try to play him on Sunday, and then you had to wait till Sunday morning to see if his test came back completely clean. So he was ruled out medically on Sunday. So, but it was about a 10 to 15% chance that he would be ruled out, and about an 85% chance he'd be ruled in, and he was ruled out. So.
Does that make him still back COVID protocol then, or on the list?
He should be back today.
Okay. And then completely different topic, but wondering if you could walk us through going for 2 there at the end. I know you ended up having to kick it, but
Yeah,
what were the analytics and so forth?
Yeah, that's one of those big analytics debates. Analytics guys all say you should go for 2 there. The thought process being down 15. It was 15, yes, Joe? 15, right? Down 15, you're going to have to go for 2 at some point, right? Was it 15, guys? Was it 16?
15.
Down 15. 15, okay, yeah. So it's what Mike McCarthy did last year in Dallas, right? So if you score the touchdown and kick the extra point like we ended up doing, now you're down 8. You have to go down and score. You only have a finite amount of time, right? So you kick off, you try to play defense, get the ball, go down and score. You go for 2 then. You have to go for 2 either time. So if you go for 2 the second time and it's no good, the game's over, right? Or you have 12 seconds left. If you go for 2 the first time and you get it, now it's a 7-point game. If you go for 2 the first time and you don't get it, at least now you know, hey, we need to score twice, and now you onside kick, as opposed to kicking it off and playing defense like we did. So it's kind of the age-old, like, classic football emotion. Hey, if you go for 2 and you don't get it, your team probably is like, oh, we're out of the game. But in terms of strategy and using the time correctly and wisely, the by-the-book, analytic-based thing is to go for 2 the first time. I'd say for me, I think all the analytics are just one small piece of the puzzle. I think we had a great play for obviously we have Cam Newton, who's going to get 2 yards more often than not. I thought we had a great play as the play unfolded, before they blew the whistle. It looked like we were going to score. So, I was just saying, hey, this is the play. Let's go for it now. And that way we know whether we should onside kick it or not. That's the thought process.
All right, got time for a few more. So we'll go to Steve Reed and then Jonathan Alexander.
Hey, Matt, I know you talked about, rotating Cam and PJ. Is there any thought at all, just curious, to going back to the strategy with Arizona where PJ was the main guy and then you brought Cam in as the alternative? I mean, just checking to see if that has crossed your mind or you thought about that option, Rhule.
Yeah, I think coming out of Arizona, there was some conversation about that. I think we wanted to put Cam out there and really see the things that he can do. And I think he started the games off really well. So obviously, he's taken the ball down and scored on the first drive, and then against Miami, the second drive. It's kind of thereafter, in the first drive of the second half, we went right down the field and scored. So it's just kind of the in-between, areas, the lulls. We dropped a snap on the second drive of the game, was about to be a good play, led to a 3-and-out. We dropped the snap on the fumble. So I just think it's those detail things that we just have to clean up. In terms of the strategy moving forward this week, obviously I'm not going to say too much. It's Monday, and Buffalo has to prepare for both guys. But I'm sure that Cam will continue to play better and better and better, and PJ someone we have confidence in. So we'll continue to work both guys.
Now, you briefly mentioned being able to get Deontay in there. I think he played a snap. Where are you at with him as far as his preparedness? I know he had to lose all that weight, and seeing what he can do and what he can potentially do for you all moving forward.
Yeah, I think it hurt for him to be hurt for a while. I mean, as a guard in your rookie year, as many snaps as you're getting, even if it's on practice, to miss those weeks, that wasn't great. But I think he had a good week last week. So, getting your first snap or 2 in the NFL might seem like, but it's a big deal to those guys. So I'm anxious to see him continue to grow. I think Deontay's going to be a good player. I think Deontay and Brady are both going to be good players. So just Deontay's kind of biding his time, but I do think the injury, Jonathan, and the time out surely slowed a little bit of his growth. But since he's been back, he's gotten better and better. I thought he had a good week last week.
All right, that's going to do it, Coach. We appreciate your time.